And there was this article I saw on BBC, man. It fucking, I don't know if it should crease me, right? Because I got nothing. Like, if you're short, you're short. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that, right? Like, we joke about Dust being a manlet. I mean, he's 5'3" or 5'4" or something. So, you know, it's not even that short. But
yeah, with shoesies, like with shoesies, with his big.
Yeah,
shoesies.
exactly. But for me, it's just never made.
I am 5'1" with big shoesies. How dare you?
Yeah, you know, it's just like not everyone gets to be a 6-footer. That's just how it works. Like genetically, it just is what it is, you know. But man, this fucking thing buckled me. It was like dating as a short man, and then the BBC just to fucking rub it in. The highs and lows. Fuck off, Beeb. Like, come on, man. They're opening up to you. And you're going to do them like that in the headline. This is why you don't talk to the BBC. This is just one example of why you never talk to the BBC. The highs and lows. He can't get up on a shelf here. Like,
he's always low.
But, so, like, look, there's just Robert pictured above, right? 5 foot 1 inch with an X, right? And I think if I was short, right, and not very well built, I don't think I would go for the Harry Potter look. Like, I think I'd get contacts. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying.
I don't know. Maybe like, that's the angle he's going with, but there are a lot of adults who love Harry Potter apparently in the world. That's he's calling it that niche. Like, he's calling it that niche.
Yeah, but for me, I would downplay trying to look like a fucking schoolboy from popular literature and maybe upplay that I'm just a short, you know, fucking stocky, you know, secretly muscular dude. Right? Yeah, just a legal dwarf. Right? Just read his story. Sweden is famous for being a country of tall blonde men. Swedish, of course. But I never felt that I stand out too much. I've always been friends with very tall people. Most of my male friends are between 5'11" and 6'3", and that has made me feel comfortable around tall.
As if they're a different species or something.
Exactly, like I have learned to walk among the tall.
They have accepted me into their crowd.
This is outrageous. Okay, some annoying things have happened over the years. Like when people want to lift you because you're easy to lift. Is that like a phenomenon that short people are dealing with? Like people just straight coming up to you, hey, all right, wee man. And just fucking picking you up and that. Is that like a thing?
I don't think so.
Like, that would never occur to me, mate. It would never occur to me to walk up to somebody who was fucking small.
Yeah, he's not even like,
oh, mate, I bet you're easy
small.
to lift, mate. That's fucking mental. There's people out there doing that. There's no way there's people out there doing that, but that just wouldn't fly. That wouldn't fly in polite society, surely. Anyway, so he says that I'm aware that short guys often complain that it's hard to find a woman, but I've never felt that way at all. See? It's always been easy for me to befriend women. It just comes naturally, and maybe that is the key. Not trying too hard and not feeling that your height is a handicap. If I'm on a date, I don't give my height a second thought. The women I have dated have ranged from 155 centimetres, my height, keeping it in the legal dwarf region, and 175 centimetres, up to 5'9". So good on him. I like him. I definitely wouldn't be full Harry Potter. And the fact that, again, the BBC did him dirty by going, pictured above with an X. Single now, of course. Like, oh, this article's cruel, man. But then you come down to Chris, and you start getting some, you know, kind of incel stuff. This guy's only 5'7". Like, that isn't even noteworthy in my opinion. Like, for shortness. I think when you're in 5'7", 5'8", that's just the normal range. But he's like one of those bitter dudes. Women won't even date you. I changed my height, and I got more replies. When I said I was 6'1", I got 3 times more matches. Now, I have heard that's a thing. And obviously, I don't do dating apps because I'm always fucking, well, apart from Grindr. No one's ever found my account on Grindr. I would never do a Tinder or anything because it's like I've seen how it goes wrong in esports many, many times already. It's definitely not worth having an account if you don't want people fucking trolling you, catfishing you. Maybe you've got a picture on there you only want prospective suitors to see, and you definitely don't want your esports fucking people to see. So I'm just all the way out of that. Never had a Tinder, never will. But anyway, so I can't speak to this, but I have read many, many times over that, women do that you are more likely if you lie and say you're above 6 foot, you are more likely to get a date on these apps. Right? I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what Bagel Boss was crying about as well.
I don't know though, because like most girls I talk to about it, when they say about like Tinder heights, I think it's just obnoxious. I think you're better off just not putting it at all. Like unless you're so small, it's going to be a problem. Like if you're 4'2", you might want to mention it beforehand. You know what I mean? Like, oh, when you see me, like I don't want it to be a shock, full on legal dwarfing. But like if you're just within a certain range of height, I don't think it matters. Just don't put your height.
I'm kind of like that as well. I don't even know why it's a thing. It feels almost like fucking Neanderthal in a way, like that we're still fixated on height for I don't know if anyone is. Yeah. Obviously, I get preference. Like, I understand personal preference and attractiveness, but it's never bothered me. I never thought about it for a second. It's just like. I did go on a rotten date one time. Not catfished or whatever, but just awful and awkward, and just she just wasn't who she said she was. It was just weird, and just didn't like it. And we just sat there, and I don't know. Maybe I've got bad memories about it because I did turn up monstrously hungover, right? And I told her, what was it I said? I said, I'm really, really hungover, so apologies, like if I need an adrenaline shot to get going. And she said, don't worry, I am an adrenaline shot. And then I got there with a hangover, and she just talked about herself. She was like a life coach or something. Yeah. It was fucking absolute shit. So, I mean, in general, I stay away from these fucking dating things. Like, it's just a bunch of people lying to each other, isn't it? The fucking best of times. Even the ones that aren't telling the big lies. You know what I mean? They're fucking... They're still lying a little bit. Nobody goes, you don't go on a fucking date and tell everybody all your shit up front. Like, that would just be fucking dumb. It's ridiculous. But, I don't feel sorry for that guy. He sounds like he's got a complex. Like, he sounds like Bagel Boss too, that fella. And then look, it turns out the BBC, they realised they'd been a little bit cruel. And they said, so they end with a nice positive story. Right, which is here. And if you scroll down, you'll see the little dude in the picture. It's a guy called Adrian. He's 5'4", right? And he was highly sought after because when he went to Reading University, they said, listen, we need a fucking Cox for the rowing team.
He guides the boat, right? He stands at the front.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, right, the point of the Cox is he sits and shouts at the muscle-bound people actually doing the rowing.
Yeah, he's a hype man. He gets you all screaming. He's like the drum beater in a war or something.
Yeah, and it's to do with rhythm as well, like 1, 2, all that shit.
I'm sure he does.
But basically, he is just, right, he's just a dude who sits on the boat shouting at people who can actually do the physical stuff. So what they do is
like
obviously
Logan Paul's trainer, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Greek God.
Yep, that's me. Perfect. But yeah, basically just a hype man for the team, really. And because of that, because you don't want to carry any excess weight beyond having to have one, it's actually like jockeys. They're fucking sought after. The smaller, the lighter, the better. So if you're a man at university, get yourself in a rowing. You don't even have to row.
Yeah, you don't even have to do the hard work. You get the same glory as well. If they win, you win.
Yeah. Now, jockeying's always been a weird one for me as well. Like, I remember my granddad was telling me about when he used to go down the stables, right? And they used to do... I don't know why they didn't just use saunas, right? But to keep the weight off the riders, on the horses, they used to bury them in horse shit. No, I don't know if this was just some mad fucking thing that was just happening in this one stables, like.
They would bury
basically, my granddad had stumbled across the horse equivalent of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but Yeah, what they used to do is
How does that suck the weight out of them?
Because of the heat.
Put them in a sauna, and why have I got to be?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think back then. I don't think you had access to saunas in the fucking.
Yeah, but you must have had access to warmth. Fires.
Yeah, but right. Trust me, by the way, a big pile of horseshit throws out some fucking heat.
Yeah.
Like,
but
throws out some fucking
no, but the thing
heat, like
is, you'd have to collect it all fresh because it only keeps its heat for a while. So you'd have to have like 50 horses all shit at once into a bath.
But that's the point. Like when you pile it up, the heat apparently retains. So what they would do is they would like sit the little jockey down before a race. And maybe they were just having his eyes out. Maybe they were just cruel to short people. Maybe this is more short people cruelly. They'd pack the shit around them till they were like just neck high and shit, and just leave them there for 4 hours. Come by and occasionally like let them have an ice cube on the lips and a fucking peg on the nose, and that was about it. Like that was how it used to roll. That's what he told me. I mean, he wasn't a liar, so he definitely saw it. I'll back that. Now, maybe the guy just had a fetish. Who really knows what was going on in that stables? But yeah. So I think there's lots of options if you're a manlet. I don't think it's as bad as what people make out. You know, I think that Chris dude, I think he's got a negative outlook. I think Bagel Boss, I think he's got a negative outlook. I think if you're short, it don't really matter. Personality goes a long way. There's even sports. There's even sports for the manlets. So don't worry about it, mate. Don't go incel. Don't go to r/manlets on Reddit and complain about the tall Beckies ruining your life and 6 foot Chads. Just leave it. It's all right, mate. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So I thought we'd have to talk about that in honor of Dus Moret.